One thing that I often wonder, not that I really lose sleep over it, is why don't we see more sparkling wines on menus? There is nothing more friendly to food than a good bottle of sparkling wine. It's surprisingly more affordable than you think. Today, I'm going to break down one excellent example of what a sparkling wine that offers exceptional value and good taste and a lot of versatility, and hopefully you will go out there and explore what that wine is. Stay tuned. Greetings everybody, welcome to Brian's Table. And today I'm going to be breaking down Crémant and Clerc Brut Prestige sparkling wine. It's a Blanc de Blanc, and I will break that down shortly. But let's open it. One thing that's universal about opening any bottle of sparkling wine where there's a cork is there's usually a cage, which is, I'll show you, this is never very neat and it never works well when you have to do it on camera. But what you have to do, this is the cage and this is the cork. You need to remove the cage. And here's the trick to opening a bottle of sparkling wine. You grasp the cork and you turn the bottle. And there it goes, all over my hands. Let's clean that up first. Well, after that little mishap, let's pour the wine. So, one thing I want to emphasize to you is that sparkling wine, I think, is one of the most undervalued alcohols out there for you to enjoy. Let's break down this label for you before we start delving into it, and let's get into a bit of history of sparkling wines. Crémant and Clerc, they are in the northern part of Burgundy, so this is a Cremant de Bourgogne, which means sort of like a community Cremant. But it's also done in the méthode traditionnelle, and that is also known in English as the traditional method, which means it is made exactly or very close to champagne. So champagne could only be called champagne because it's grown in the region of Champagne, whereas anywhere else that is not champagne could make champagne-like wine, but they can't call it champagne. So what it does in France, there's all of these other wines which use the traditional method called Cremants. And you get Cremant de Alsace, Cremant de Loire. Every region has its own version of Cremant. Places that was making a sparkling type wine that was in competition with champagne. The history of champagne, it's fascinating. There's a great podcast I listened to recently on Gastropod. I put it down below. It's a great listen. It enlightened you to the whole history of how this particular category of wine came to be. And the history of champagne is quite fascinating. It involves SARS and all sorts of shenanigans of history. But champagne making for many years was likely one of the most dangerous professions out there, because champagne sort of happened by accident, if you go back into the history, and it became a style that people liked. To make the wine and going through all the procedures, they started to put the wine into these very specific rooms, and they used to call it riddling, and they used to put them, racking and riddling, where you put them on a rack and then you turn them. But there was a high rate of those bottles exploding. So if you're in that room, you are dodging shard glass all over the place. And I'm sure there were a few guys in there who had helmets and glass visors, but it being the 1700s, maybe not so much. There were a few things that really started to come into where champagne came into its own when those particular accidents were not happening as often, but they worked out the process. And the process is basically, in champagne specifically, they use three grapes. They use Pinot Noir, they use Chardonnay, and Pinot Meunier, and various proportions, but you can actually make a champagne out of one of the grapes or multiples of the grapes, and the champagnes get labeled according to that. At that point, its cage goes on and all those things, and it goes to market. But here's the thing. Cremants don't have to use those three principal grapes, and henceforth, they can't be called champagne. So this one in particular, this uses 6 grapes. It has Colombard in it, it has Uni Blanc, it has Chardonnay, it has Chenin Blanc, and it has another one, Jacquerie. I think I got them all there. I may have labeled 5, but you get the picture. But the key to this is that these guys, Vacheron and Clerc, are in the northern part of Burgundy, and they're really known for Pinot Noir in that area. And these guys only make sparkling wines. So they are working within the classification system of France to produce a very good entry level, and this one, the Prestige line, is an entry level line. And they take a lot of liberties with the variety of grapes they have to develop a house style. So on any given year, and if you notice on this bottle there's no year, because again, Cremants usually don't come with a year unless they are a fine quality Cremant. What you find is there's no year on here, and they just come in and they try to replicate a flavor profile based on how the grapes come in that year. So you can see here, based on the combination that they're using a lot, it's very yellow in color, golden. There's very fine bubbles. So this is telling me this is quite a well-made wine. It's quite shiny on visual inspection. Lovely. Why don't we drink more sparkling wine? I think it's because a lot of people associate sparkling wine with celebratory events. You know, how many times you've seen the guys on the F1, they're spraying their champagne all over the place.
No, you're supposed to spray it, not drink it.
Not meaning to go into Emily in Paris and the champagne that you spray. Let me know if you watch Emily in Paris below. I'd love to know if you do. These are really food-friendly wines. They're meant to be enjoyed at a cafe, people watching, and they are a lighter style of wine, and they go really well with a lot of bar snacks. So think cava in Spain to enjoy tapas. In France, they got Cremants. Cremants, because they come in a variety of house styles, and depending on the region that they come from, they have different grapes for them. And that means that gives you a lot of accessibility to pairing that with different things. I, for one, I love to start a meal with a sparkling wine. Because you know why? You know you're gonna have a great meal and you're gonna have a good time. There's nothing that says fun than having a sparkling wine. Let's be honest about that. And now that you got the idea that you could go and pair wine up with a whole variety of things, and I'd be honest, like, you know, bar snacks, French fries, you could go with that. But I don't eat deep fried, so I would also recommend a lot of bar snacks. You could go with nuts, anything where there's a bit of richness. If you got cheese, this goes well with soft rind cheeses like brie, lovely to have. But because of the varieties that goes with it, it allows you a lot more extensible pairing. So for instance, a Cremant d'Alsace, if you get a nicely aged one, it's, because it's proximity to champagne, it tastes very brioche, yeasty, has a little bit of those buttery notes, popcorn notes, because again, it's further north of Champagne, so you're getting that much more attention to detail in terms of trying to replicate some of the flavors close to the Champagne. Whereas when you get out to Burgundy and the Loire Valley, you start to see more of these sparkling wines in the character that of the grapes of the region. So if you go to the Loire Valley, you would find easily Cabernet Franc making a lovely rosé sparkling wine. And that will go lovely with fish or even chicken. Some on a patio. That's why I refer to a wine like that. But this one, again, from Burgundy, it has, Burgundy is known largely for Chardonnay, as I refer to as white Burgundy, and red Burgundy, which is Pinot Noir. So this is sort of a old little secret within Burgundy that they actually do have other grapes. Let's go. Okay. You get a lot of ripe pear, yellow apple actually, on this. Golden delicious, I should say. Get the citrus notes. Get a lot of brioche, that bready character of it. Get a little bit of that popcorn, just popping in there. The Chardonnay is bringing that in. A little marmalade in here, so a little sweet note in here. Very complex in those. As you can see, I'm at the point where I'm at 5, 6 descriptors. You know, this is not a one-dimensional wine. All right, let's give it a taste. All right. It's lighter than what the nose would lead you to. The effervescence, the sparkling character of it, very light and airy. The brioche comes through. Get those custardy elements that with the pear and the golden delicious. You get a few more tropical fruits in here. The lemon does come through as well, but you're getting just a touch of secondary characteristics of the autolytic characters. Anytime people use that term, it's referring to something that maybe tastes a little like it has a touch of sherry in it, or that aged element to it. There is that character. So what this wine is telling me is you have a little detection on the tip of the tongue. So there's a little tartness there, a little sweetness as well. The mid palate, it's open for food. Bring it on. And the back end, a lot of acid. And you get more of those hard fruit like the pear coming through on the back. This is a lovely wine. I will love to serve this at a dinner sometime. I would most probably pair this with something like a salmon crudo with a bit of creme fraiche. That'll go really well. I would also most probably think of something like a cucumber roll with a bit of bean dip and a little bit of fruit. I may play off of the pear in here. That'll go quite well. But if you want something that would go well with a lot of Southeast Asian foods with a little bit of spice, this would work quite well too. So I really hope that you take note, go out there, go to your local liquor store, go out there and try some Cremants. They are usually in the ballpark of, you see them under $20, you'll see some $20 to $25. Rarely would you see anything over $25. Over $25, you're getting something probably with a vintage, but what you're gonna get is you're gonna get a really lovely sparkling wine that will pair with a lot of the foods that you most probably enjoy right now. I'd even say enjoy this with a steak, because the fattiness of the steak would play beautifully with the acid of this. And that steak is going to occupy that mid palate beautifully. And that acid is going to be just going into that collagen and creating that juiciness that you seek in that steak. Don't have to drink a red wine to enjoy steak, okay guys? So I hope you go out there and discover a few Cremants on your own. And if you do, let me know in the comments below. So question of the day, obviously. Have you ever tried a Cremant? And if so, which one? Okay, folks, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate the time that you've taken to enjoy my videos. And I am thankful for the support that you've provided me in growing this channel. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe. It helps me understand how I need to evolve this channel and where I could improve upon my delivery and my technique in doing this, as well as understanding who my audience is. And if you do that, I'd be quite thankful for that. All right, go out there, try a few Cremants, and go out there, taste the world, folks.